10 NBA stars who didn't get a ring but shone nonetheless. Stick with us to find out who is who. If Allen Iverson's case is not a case of a bad matchup, then what exactly is? The superstar worked magic on the court, and it all started when he was the #1 pick by the Philadelphia 76ers. After he joined the team, he single-handedly turned the team into a championship contender, which was a long call from what the team was. But his efforts alone couldn't get the team to the top. AI finished his 14-year career ranked 19th all-time in points, 38th in assists, and 12th in steals. This showed that he was a superstar. But the incredible numbers weren't enough to get the MVP to the finals more than once. Although the 76ers wasn't the only team he played for during his career, he only got to the finals with the team in 2001. But his team came up against Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal of the Los Angeles Lakers, and AI and his teammates kissed the championship goodbye. This basketball star got injured just as he began taking over the court, and he never got to reach his prime. Tracy McGrady was a sight to behold on the court. At the young age of 23, he dominated the league by averaging 32 points per game, and that made him one of the league's most feared scorers in the early 2000s. Then the injury and back spasms came in 2004, and he couldn't play as well as he used to. Despite that, he averaged 19.6 points per game, 5.6 rebounds, and 4.4 assists. T-Mac was a star. His chance to win a title came in his final season in 2013 after joining the Spurs as a veteran player. But sadly, the team lost 95-88, and T-Mac ended up without a ring. T-Mac's distant cousin Vince Carter also didn't get to earn a championship title, despite being such a skilled basketball player. In his first season in 1999 with the Toronto Raptors, he won the Rookie of the Year award, averaging 18.3 points, 5.7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.5 blocks, and 1.1 steals per game. And after that year, he averaged at least 20 points per game in 10 seasons. But then he began to slow down, and although he became a leader, it wasn't enough to get him to the NBA Finals nor to talk of earning a ring. This legend recorded the second most blocks in league history, with 3,289. But this was not enough to win him a title. Dikembe Mutombo was a storm on the court. He blocked almost every ball that tried to get in the hoop, and the opposing team quivered in fear when he was playing. After being drafted 4th overall by the Denver Nuggets in 1991, he led the league in total blocks for 5 straight years, 1993 through 1998, and also finished with the most total rebounds in the 4 of his first 9 years. He was that incredible. Although his per-game scoring average of 9.8 was not all that, his defensive skills were more than enough compensation for his low offensive skills. Seeing as he helped achieve the first number 8 over number 1 seed upset in the history of the NBA playoffs in 1994, pushing the Nuggets ahead of the Seattle Supersonics with 31 blocks in the 5-game series. So it's no surprise that he won Defensive Player of the Year awards 4 times throughout his career, and earned a spot as one of the greatest defenders of all time. Despite that, he only appeared in the NBA Finals twice, once in 2001 and 2003. And his skills alone were not enough to beat the likes of Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Tim Duncan, and Tony Parker that made up the opposing teams. So Mutombo was left ringless for his entire 18-year career. Steve Nash was no ordinary player, and it will be quite valid to say he ushered in a new era of NBA basketball during the mid-2000s. Nash was the one who executed the 7 seconds or less Phoenix Suns to perfection. And due to how efficient the up-tempo style of play was, several teams started emulating it. His stats were incredible, being one of 4 players at the time to have at least 15,000 points, 10,000 assists, and 800 steals to his name. But he wasn't lucky enough to earn a championship title. In 2012, he joined the Lakers with the hope of earning a ring, but just 2 games into the season, he fractured the fibula in his left leg and couldn't play. Despite his lack of NBA Finals appearances or titles, the two-time MVP made a statement on the court. Over 3 decades after being selected number 1 in the 1985 NBA Draft, Ewing is mentioned as proof by conspiracy theorists that the draft is rigged. But whether it was rigged in that year or not, Ewing was such a good pick. He was drafted by the New York Knicks after leading the Georgetown Hoyas to 3 Final Fours and 1 NCAA championship in 1984. His performance with the Knicks was incredible, and at the end of his career, he ranked 6th all-time in blocks, 18th in points, and 24th in rebounds. In fact, at the time, he was also one of 6 players in NBA history to record at least 20,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, and 2,500 blocks. But his incredible skills didn't win him a championship title. His chance came twice in 1994 and 1999, when the Knicks got to the NBA Finals, but they were unable to beat the Houston Rockets and San Antonio Spurs, respectively. His reward for his incredible skills came in the form of 11 All-Star appearances, 7 All-NBA nods, 2 Olympic gold medals, and the 1986 Rookie of the Year. That isn't too bad, right? Charles Barkley was a dominant force in the NBA during his 16-year career, earning numerous accolades such as the MVP award in 1993. However, he never won a championship despite reaching the NBA Finals with the Phoenix Suns in 1993. One reason for this is the strong competition during his era, as he faced some of the greatest players and teams in NBA history, including Michael Jordan's Chicago Bulls. Additionally, Barkley played for several teams throughout his career, and while he was always a standout player, he may not have had the consistent support and talent around him necessary to win a championship. George the Iceman Gervin was initially a star of the now-defunct American Basketball Association. Then in 1976, he and the San Antonio Spurs brought their talents to the NBA. Throughout his 10-year career, his silky smooth shooting ability remained intact. His signature finger roll, which helped his lethal scoring abilities, made him one of the most feared shooting guards. And despite spending only 10 years in the NBA, he featured in the All-Star Game 9 times and was named a member of the All-NBA teams 7 times. His incredible performance also earned him a spot in the Basketball Hall of Fame in 1996. But his lethal shooting skills were not enough to get him to the NBA Finals, so he didn't get a championship title. You might know him through his epic slam dunk contest wars with Michael Jordan in the mid-'80s, but he did more than that. Judging from his nickname, the Human Highlight Film, you could get how incredible he was. He was the number 3 overall pick in 1982 and became one of only 5 players at the time with at least 25,000 points, 7,000 rebounds, 2,500 assists, and 1,200 steals. This placed him in the same league as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Karl Malone, Kevin Garnett, and Hakeem Olajuwon. This 9-time All-Star was not fortunate enough to appear in an NBA Finals. Despite that, his career was Hall of Fame worthy. The only thing Karl the Mailman Malone didn't deliver during his career was a championship title. Besides that, his 19-year career was very impressive. All through his career, he raked in points and performed incredibly well on the court. At the time he ended his career, he was one of 3 players in NBA history to have at least 20,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, and 5,000 assists to their name. The other players are Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Kevin Garnett. So Malone was definitely one of the top dogs. It's quite unfortunate that none of the 3 appearances he made at the NBA Finals won him a title. His first 2 appearances were while he was with the Utah Jazz in 1997 and in 1998. And the last came in the final season of his career with the Los Angeles Lakers. Even without a title to his name, the 2010 Hall of Fame inductee and 2-time league MVP will always be remembered as an NBA legend. If you're a die-hard basketball fan, even if you never saw him play, this name should ring a bell. Elgin Baylor was an absolute beast on the court. As a rookie in the 1958-59 season, he was a sight to behold. In his first year, he averaged 24.9 points and 15 rebounds per game, thereby winning the 1959 Rookie of the Year award. Also in his first year, he went home with the All-Star Game MVP after finishing the game with 24 points and 11 boards. Unlike many of his counterparts, he didn't slow down. For his entire career, he averaged 27.4 points and 13.5 rebounds per game. The Laker earned 10 All-NBA nods and 11 All-Star appearances, which led him to become one of the greatest players in the 1960s. But right before he could win a championship title with his team, he developed knee problems and had to retire early in the 1971-72 season. That same year, the Lakers won the NBA championship against the New York Knicks. Due to his incredible performance before his retirement, the Lakers gave Baylor a championship ring. For some reason, he sold it for $132,000 during an auction in the spring. Although these stars didn't get to wear the crown, they made a name for themselves on the court.